Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, your game day tech playbook. We break down the latest gadgets and trends, keep it casual and fun.
Yeah.
And since it's Super Bowl LIX, we're diving into the hidden tech plays, like the secret stuff that actually shape the game. So get ready for, your tech halftime show. It'll be insightful and fun, even if you're not, a total tech geek.
And what a game it was. The Eagles totally crushed it, especially against a team like the Chiefs, who everyone thought were going to, sail to victory, get that crazy three-peat.
Right. It felt like everyone was so sure the Chiefs would win, but the Eagles, they had different plans.
Yeah, they did.
But here's what's been bugging me, right? Well, everyone's going on about the players and the coaches. I keep thinking, hold on, what about the tech behind all this? What part did technology play in this upset?
It's a really good question, and you're spot on to be thinking that way. Because, behind those amazing plays and all the coaches' strategies, there's a whole world of technology doing its thing. Think about it. These teams are going through tons of data, using AI to break down how their opponents play. They're even using VR to train their quarterbacks.
Wait, so AI is actually coaching football now? That sounds like something straight out of a movie.
Well, not exactly coaching, but definitely helping out,
Yeah.
Teams are using AI software to analyze hours and hours of game footage. They're breaking down everything from how the teams line up to how each player moves, their little habits and stuff. It's pretty wild. And this helps them, figure out what plays the other team might use, find their weak spots.
Yeah.
It's like building a digital playbook to beat the other guys.
So it's like kind of having a supercomputer whispering secrets to the coach during the game?
Uh-huh. That's a great way to put it. And the Eagles, especially with their defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, it seems like they've really nailed this whole data thing. Remember how they held the Chiefs to just 23 yards in the first half?
Yeah, it was insane.
That's almost unheard of, especially against an offensive powerhouse like the Chiefs. So that kind of defensive power, it wasn't just about talent, it was about strategy, and that strategy fueled by all that data.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it, that AI could be behind such a game-changing part of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the Eagles' offense for a sec. Jalen Hurts had a killer game, too.
He did.
Did tech have anything to do with how well he played?
Oh, for sure. Quarterbacks these days, they're not just relying on, pure talent and instinct anymore.
Yeah.
They're using these virtual reality simulations to practice plays and make decisions like they're actually in the game. Imagine stepping onto a football field, but it's all virtual reality. You get the pressure, the intensity, without actually getting sacked. Haha.
Wow, that's some next-level training. It's like having your own personal holodeck just for football.
Right.
But how does all that virtual reality stuff actually help them when they're on the field, for real?
Think of it like this. VR lets quarterbacks practice the same scenarios over and over.
Okay.
So they can really refine their reactions and decision-making, in a safe space. They can face different defenses, all kinds of blitz packages, even deal with that crazy crowd noise and all this without actually being on the field.
Right.
This type of practice really gets them, mentally sharp, helps them stay cool under pressure, like Jalen Hurts did during the Super Bowl.
So in a way, VR is giving quarterbacks a mental edge.
Yeah, exactly.
Helping them predict plays and react faster on the field. But what about the other players on offense? Like Saquon Barkley. He was incredible, just electrifying.
He was.
Does tech play a role in boosting a running back's performance too?
Absolutely. Teams are using these wearable sensors now and tracking technology to watch a player's every single move during practice. We're talking speed, agility, how their body's working, how hard they're pushing themselves. And then coaches and trainers use all this data to, create personalized training plans, figure out the best recovery strategies, even spot potential injuries before they happen.
So it's like having a whole team of invisible coaches tracking your every move, giving you feedback 24/7. That's wild.
Yeah.
But wouldn't all the teams have access to this tech?
Well, yeah.
Why did the Eagles seem to use it so much better than the Chiefs?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Haha.
Yeah.
Lots of teams are jumping on this whole tech revolution, but it's not just about having the latest gadgets. It's about using them strategically, you know?
Right.
And the Eagles, with Coach Sirianni, they clearly had a plan, a way to make the most of their tech. They took all that data and turned it into something they could actually use, like turning raw numbers into game-winning strategies.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not just about having a fancy computer. You got to have the brains to understand the data and turn it into plays that win games. But let's not forget, the Chiefs are famous for their crazy play calling, like they pull plays out of thin air.
Yeah.
Why didn't their tech give them an edge in this game?
That's where things get really interesting. It's like the Eagles' data approach actually helped them figure out the Chiefs' plays, even the ones that seem totally random. AI is amazing at spotting patterns.
Right.
And after analyzing tons of Chiefs games, they were able to see these tiny tendencies and predict what plays they'd call with a crazy level of accuracy.
So it's like the Eagles, they crack the code of the Chiefs' offense. That's insane.
Kind of, yeah. They use data to take the Chiefs' unpredictable style and make it, well, a little more predictable. They were playing a different game, almost like they had a glimpse into the future,
My mind is blown. I never realized how much technology was shaping football behind the scenes.
It's a lot.
It's like a whole new level of strategy that most fans don't even know about.
Right. It's a whole other game happening beneath the surface.
Okay, I'm still kind of stuck on that idea, the Eagles basically predicting the Chiefs to every move. But it makes me wonder, is this where football is headed? Will AI be calling all the plays someday? Are we going to see robot quarterbacks out there?
Robot quarterbacks, maybe not yet. But you're right. This whole tech and football thing is just getting started. Imagine, even crazier analytics. VR training that's so real you can't tell the difference. Maybe even AI assistants working right alongside the coaches during the game.
Whoa, that's pretty exciting and kind of scary, too. But if the players themselves aren't, becoming data scientists, how do they adapt to this tech-heavy game?
That's a really important point. It's not about turning players into tech experts. It's about them using what tech can tell us to their advantage. Think of it this way. This data feedback, it can help players really understand their strengths and weaknesses, super precisely. And then they can use that info to, tweak their technique, get better at what they do, maybe even avoid injuries and play longer.
So it's like having a personal coach in their pocket, constantly watching their every move, giving them advice, all that.
Exactly. And this isn't just for the pros anymore. It's happening in college, even high school. It's changing how athletes train, from the ground up.
It's pretty amazing, right? Tech is revolutionizing the whole sport. But we've been talking a lot about performance, scoring points, winning games. What about player safety? Does tech have a role in keeping players from getting hurt?
Oh, totally. Player safety is actually one of the areas where tech is making the biggest difference. Think about those wearable sensors, the ones that track how players move, how hard they get hit. That data can warn coaches and doctors about potential problems so they can step in before a small thing turns into a major injury.
So it's like an early warning system for their health.
Exactly, and it goes even further. By looking at tons of data on player injuries, we can start to see patterns and stuff that we might have missed before.
Okay.
And that can lead to changes in the rules, better equipment, even changes in how they train, all to make the game safer for everyone.
That's good to hear. It's nice knowing that tech isn't just about winning, it's also about protecting the players. But, we've talked a lot about the players, the coaches, all that. What about the fans? How is this tech stuff changing how they experience the game?
That's a great question, one that we don't talk about enough. Technology is totally changing the fan experience, making it way more immersive, more exciting. Think about those interactive apps, the ones with real-time stats, instant replays. Or virtual reality, where you can actually step onto the field. Even those personalized content feeds that are all about your favorite team.
So it's not just about sitting back and watching the game anymore. It's about actually being a part of it.
Exactly. And all this, this deeper connection, it's creating fans who are way more passionate, more connected to the teams they love. It's almost like breaking down that wall between being at the game and watching from home,
It's pretty wild to think about how tech is bridging that gap, letting fans get closer to the game. But, after everything we've talked about, I can't help but think, were those predictions about the Chiefs winning even fair? Did the Eagles' tech strategy give them, an unfair advantage? Or were the Chiefs just, caught sleeping?
That's a question we'll probably be arguing about for a long time. Did the Eagles using tech better give them an edge that wasn't fair? Or did the Chiefs just get outplayed on that front?
Hard to say for sure. But one thing's clear, right? Technology isn't just a side thing in football anymore.
Yeah.
It's a core part of the game. It's changing everything. How players train, how coaches come up with their strategies, even how fans experience the whole thing.
And the coolest part, we're just getting started. Who knows what the future holds? Maybe AI referees calling the game or players wearing Exoskeletons that make them even stronger, faster?
That would be wild. But seriously, this whole conversation has really opened my eyes. Technology is changing the game in ways we never could have imagined. And as we keep innovating, it's going to be fascinating to see how these advancements shape the future of football. It really makes you think, are we heading into a future where, like, the team with the best tech wins, not the team with the best players?
That's a really interesting question, and it brings up all these, like, ethical questions, philosophical stuff. But I think it's important to remember tech is just a tool, right? It's all about how you use it. That's what matters.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, a hammer can build a house, or it can, I don't know, break a window. It depends on who's holding it.
Exactly. The Eagles, they didn't win just because they had AI or VR. They won because they had coaches who knew how to use that stuff right, a team that wasn't afraid of data, players who were willing to put in the work to use that data on the field.
Okay, so what's the takeaway for, like, our listeners? Most of us aren't coaches or pro athletes, right?
Yeah.
What can we learn from how the Eagles use tech to win?
I think the big lesson is that data is power, but only if you know what to do with it. It doesn't matter if you're running a business, trying to get better at something you love, even if you're just trying to improve your golf swing, there's information out there that can help you, reach your goals.
So we should all be, like, embracing this whole data thing, but we got to be smart about it too, right? And not forget about the human element, all that.
For sure. Technology can give us these incredible insights, but it's on us to, like, figure out what they mean, make good decisions, and actually, do something with them in the real world.
This has been, I don't know, a really cool look into tech and football, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about AI predicting plays, VR training, even the future of, like, being a fan. And it's clear that tech is changing the game in ways we never even thought about.
Yeah, and the best part, this is only the beginning. As tech keeps getting better, the future of football, all sports really, it's full of crazy possibilities.
All right, folks, that's our show for today. We hope you enjoyed this Super Bowl special of Bite-Sized Tech. If you did, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more awesome tech content.
And until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the amazing world of tech.